If I got on here and just started swearing at you, started throwing F bombs at you, I think you'd think there's something wrong with me. Because how can two things be true at the same time? How can I tell you guys my personal life experiences and encourage you to walk in the same ways I do with Jesus and follow Jesus, but then I be cussing at you and cussing behind the scenes and not living up to the standard that I'm setting for myself and setting for you guys here online? It's so interesting because so many people are going to pray the prayer like I did and say, God, use me, speak through me. But the Bible says, how can you speak good when you are filled with evil? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about how we can abundantly fill our hearts for our mouths to speak the words of the Lord. I'm Delaney O'Keefe, and welcome to the First Faith Podcast. Before we go into changing our heart, I think it's important to take inventory of our heart. What is in your heart? A great way to tell what is in your heart is by going onto your explore pages across your social media. Objectively look at your TikTok algorithm, look at your Instagram algorithm, look at your Twitter, whatever platform that you choose to use, look at the explore page because that is what you're spending time looking at. Your Instagram is curated to what you like. So to take an inventory of your heart, first check out your explore page. And I'm not just going to point fingers. I'm going to do it too. Here, I have my phone right here. I'm going to refresh my explore page so everything's brand new. Okay, good news. I've got Jesus right off the bat right here. Yes. Oh, that was a little worrisome. I was like, I don't know what's gonna come up, but good thing Jesus. Oh, I have two Jesuses right back to back to back, so that's good. But then I have a lot of Ariana Grande. Ooh, another Jesus. So this is looking good. We've got Ariana and Jesus, and a lot of fashion. So this is what's in my heart, y'all. That's good. And I'm not showing off. I genuinely was scared. This is why I'm doing it. But it's really cool to see what is in your heart. As a faith-based podcaster, I hope that my heart reflected Jesus. So that was a relief to find out. But do it for yourself. Don't just look at mine. Look at yours. Take an inventory objectively. Look at what you're looking at and say, okay, this is curated to entertain me. So why is it entertaining? It must be something that's in my heart that I love. And Millicent Sedra says this. She's an iconic pastor in Australia, and I am obsessed with her. But she said that whatever you are entertained by is what you'll be enslaved by. And I think that that's very fascinating. And for years and years, I was entertained, still am, by Ariana Grande. For years, whatever she did, I did. She wore cat ears. I wore cat ears. She released a fragrance. I was the first person in line to buy it. I've been to every concert. I was entertained by her. So therefore, I was enslaved by her. I've hopefully grown up a lot since then. I'm still somewhat entertained by her. So there's room for growth and there's room for development. And I think that just taking a step back just for yourself, and see what's in your heart. I challenge you right now to go on your explore page after you watch this podcast and figure out what is in your heart, because only then, when you see what's really going on, what your motives are, what you're entertained by, you'll be able to give it to Jesus, put it at the feet of Jesus and say, Lord, it's yours. I want more of you, less of me. Fill me abundantly with you. But how do we get things into our hearts? Let's talk about it. Okay, so you just took inventory of your heart through your TikTok algorithm, through your social media algorithm, but how do the things get there? The two most common ways that things get into your heart is through what you watch and what you listen to. A great example of this is Job in the Bible. God calls this man Job righteous before he does anything in the Bible. In chapter 1 of the book of Job in the Old Testament, God calls Job righteous. And then in Job 31, Job gives a detailed account of how he lived his, quote, righteous life. Not perfect life, because only Jesus was perfect, but he was righteous in the eyes of the Lord. And I don't know about you, but that's inspiring. So I wanted to know, what what he did to be righteous, because I too want to be righteous. And the first thing, can you guess what the first thing is that he talks about? He talks about how he kept his eyes and his heart pure. So I'm going to read it to you. Job 31 verses 1 through 4. It says this: I have made a covenant with my eyes. How then can I gaze at a virgin? What would be my portion from God above and my heritage from the Almighty on high? Is not calamity for the unrighteous and disaster for the workers of iniquity? Does not he see my ways and number all my steps? So what does this mean? It means that Job set a boundary for his eyes before temptation. He didn't just go on Instagram and start scrolling through half-naked girls' photos and just hope that he didn't fall into lust mentally and physically. No, he set a boundary for himself. He says, I have made a covenant with my eyes. He made a promise. He made a boundary before temptation. And he only allowed his eyes to linger on things within his boundary. It doesn't mean he didn't accidentally see something he wasn't supposed to see. No, he only let his eyes linger on things of God, things within his boundary. Having pure eyes and a pure heart is proactive. You want to be righteous, you want to be set apart, you want to be called righteous by God like Job was. Set boundaries for yourself. Be proactive. Boundaries are a great litmus test to let you know when you're crossing into temptation. And I want to encourage you to give yourself grace, because sometimes we don't know what drives us into temptation without having boundaries. So I encourage you to set boundaries. But if you notice down the line, you're like, oh, I keep falling into sin this way, then realize maybe you need to set a new boundary. Give yourself grace. Recognize that you're not going to get things perfectly. Like, I'm sure Job didn't wake up one morning and go, I'm going to be righteous. No, it's an active, proactive daily walk with God, setting your eyes on things above instead of falling into temptation daily. Because some of you are so frustrated because you fall into the same sin and you're like, why am I doing this? It's because you're not setting boundaries for yourself. It tells us in the Bible to flee from sin. That means get up and run. That means get up and hightail it out of there. It doesn't mean saunter away. It means run, flee from sin. So set up your boundaries. And when you fall short, when you're getting to that line where you're like, I could fall into temptation right here, get up and physically run. I'm not kidding you. Get up and do a lap around your house. If you're on your phone and you're like, oop, I'm about to go to that website, I can't stop my thumb, then don't stop your thumb, start your legs, run, get out, flee, move. Recognize that desire always begins at attention. And like Millicent Sedra says, whatever entertains us, we will be enslaved by. So your desire begins at attention and it enslaves you. Some examples, maybe you need to stop drinking because the drink in itself is not bad, but it leads you to make dumb decisions. It leads you to a rabbit hole on Instagram. It leads you to that website that you know you shouldn't be on. Or maybe you need to stop going out to the clubs because the second that you get home after hours spent in the dark with half-naked girls, you go home and it leads you down a dark path. Flee from sin. Protect your eye gates. But I also want to encourage you to protect your ear gates, because what you listen to is also extremely important. What you listen to is what you're going to be filling your heart and your soul with. So stop listening to music with profanity or sad songs when you're not depressed, or boy bashing songs because it will make you look at men differently, or songs about lust and say, oh, it's okay, I can sing it, I don't feel this way, I just want to sing the words. No, because that gets into your heart, and out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. And the same goes for podcasts. You're listening to Call Her Daddy and you wonder why you hate men. That girl does not care for men at all. She never uplifts men. Her first, I don't know how many seasons of her podcast were all about lust, was all about sleeping her way to the top. And I do not judge her. I do not condemn her, but I do not want to encourage you to listen to her. Podcasts and movies and TV shows and music, especially music, can infect our soul. And I get it. I'm not pointing fingers. I was in the same boat. Very same boat. Junior year of college, I was partying, drinking, already not feeling fulfilled by the world at all. I was already sad because I was half in and half out with my relationship with Jesus, and standing in the middle of that chasm is always a slippery slope. And so I just listened to sad music and it made it worse. But I'm standing on the other side of this today saying, I don't listen to sad music when I'm not sad anymore. Even when I am sad, I protect what I listen to. And on the daily, I protect what I listen to, because you want to know what? I turned off explicit music on my Spotify. It's really, really easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I don't know how to do Apple Music, okay, so don't come for me for that. But Spotify, I'm going to show you right now. It takes 1 minute. You're going to open up your app. You're going to go to your home page. You're going to click the little icon of yourself up at the top. Then you're going to hit settings and privacy. Then you're going to hit content and display. Then it says allow explicit content and you turn it off. Well, I said a minute. That was probably 15 seconds of your life. 15 seconds and a soul-saving action, and it's going to encourage you to listen to the things of the Lord. And I'm not saying that every clean song is good for you. Okay, listen to me very clearly. I know not every clean song is good for you, but it's a step in the right direction. It's setting up boundaries. It's being proactive. And trust me, I know you're going to come for me and say, but Delaney, I love so-and-so. Well, guess who I love? Okay, we've already discussed it. Let's talk about it again. I love Ariana Grande. I love her so much. And I knew turning off explicit music meant I wasn't going to be able to listen to a bunch of her songs anymore. But in Luke chapter 9, it says, those who want to be Jesus's disciple must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow the Lord. So deny yourself. Take up your cross. Maybe this is really hard for you because you listen to Kanye, you listen to Kid Cudi, you listen to whoever else is popular in the rap world. I don't know. But deny yourself. Because freedom comes when you are seated at the feet of Jesus, crying and weeping and saying, I'm sorry, Lord, for I am a sinner. I want to be filled with the things of the Lord. And a step in the right direction is turning off explicit music. And Romans 10:17 says, faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of the Lord. Faith comes from hearing. So what are you hearing? What are you listening to? What are you speaking? What is in the abundance of your heart to speak out? Because if faith comes from hearing, and you can talk about Jesus, you have the biblical knowledge to talk about Jesus and personal experience to talk about Jesus, but then you throw an F-bomb in your testimony, people are going to be like, what? I don't get it. And I am not pointing fingers because I did this too. I was the exact same way. And sometimes I still slip up. I like the B word every now and then. I'll be so real. I'm being really honest with you guys. I like throwing that word out sometimes. I'm like, that thing is a B. But I have to learn how to deny myself, take up my cross, and follow the Lord. And if faith comes from hearing, A, what am I listening to? What am I hearing? And B, how am I speaking so other people can hear and have faith? And just overall, if you're not fulfilling yourself with the word of the Lord, you will be speaking from an abundance of the world, but you're called to be set apart. Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed by this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. How can you renew your mind if you only spend 10 minutes in the morning with Jesus reading one Bible verse and then listening to 100 songs full of profanity, full of boy bashing, full of lust? How can you be set apart if you look just like the world, if you're listening to the world? You may know more TikTok slang, TikTok memes, TikTok trends, and TikTok brain rot than you know Bible verses. And again, I am not pointing fingers, okay? I did the same thing. And I'm still learning. I'm still breaking down those boundaries and those walls. But again, it is out of the abundance of these things that your mouth will speak. Are you saying slay girl, period, every 5 seconds? Or are you reciting a Bible verse? Not just having a Bible verse in your bio, okay? Because I know that's trendy too. You can have a Bible verse in your bio, but then when you speak to your friends, you can't even recite the Bible verse. Transform yourself by the renewal of your mind, not just 10 minutes a day in the morning before work and rush hour. Fill your mind, be transformed by your mind daily. Set boundaries for yourself. I had to do that in my personal life, and I want to share how I did that with you. I don't want anyone to think that I'm casting stones, okay? Because I'm pointing the finger right back at myself. I needed to hear a message similar to this in order to shape me into speaking properly. And I don't get it right all the time, okay? And I'm not saying you can't find enjoyment in things of the world. Absolutely. Find enjoyment in TikTok. Like TikTok's fun. Absolutely. Find enjoyment in listening to Ariana Grande, but don't fill your soul with it. Don't listen to sad music when you're sad because you're filling your soul. You're encouraging that behavior. And I want to speak from my experience. When I was a junior in college specifically, I was super depressed because I was 1 foot in the world, 1 foot with Jesus, going to church on Sunday and had a Bible study once a week, but partying and clubbing from Thursday to Saturday. And one night I came home from the clubs, I turned on sad music and I sat in my shower for like 30 minutes until my roommate came in, turned off my music and helped me get to bed. And I let this depression wash over me. I remember even thinking vividly, I was driving in the snow and I'm like, why am I so sad as I listen to sad, depressing music? It does infiltrate your mind. It does infiltrate your soul. So what are you listening to? Let it be of good things. Let it be of things of the Lord, not things of the world. And I'll give you another example. I was filled, the abundance of my heart was TikTok memes. I spoke in oop, period, slay, girl boss, go queen. I spoke in all of those TikTok words in slang. Even when I was working for Turning Point USA, I was telling my bosses, period, slay queen. And I'm sure in the moment it's like, okay, that's kind of funny. But looking back on it, I'm like, how embarrassing. I couldn't come up with more vernacular than period slay queen. I want to be taken seriously as a woman in the workforce. I don't think saying, oop, period slay queen to bosses in the workplace is going to get you anywhere. And I didn't see it as a bad thing in the moment because it's funny. The internet does it, so it's funny. But I was filled with that kind of knowledge and that kind of vocabulary because that's what I was spending my time reading and listening to and watching. And another one, Ariana Grande. I could quote every Ariana song, meme, or even burst out into her choreography all before I could pull out my Bible and give you a recited Bible verse. That is filling myself and my heart and my mind and my soul with things of this world. And I'm not saying Ariana is a bad person or her music is innately bad. I'm saying when you fill your heart abundantly with things of this world, you're going to speak from that abundance. I was speaking from an abundance of TikTok memes, of sad music, of Ariana Grande lyrics and Ariana Grande choreography. But I want to speak. I want to give life to you. I want to give life to the people around me. And that comes from abundantly filling myself with the word of the Lord. And lastly, swearing. I know it's trendy. I know everybody does it. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's not classy. It's not professional. It's not loving. It's not encouraging. It's not uplifting. And now I look back on Snapchats and texts that I sent. I'm like, oh my gosh, I swore a lot. Like I swore a lot. Okay. So I get it. It's kind of fun to be like, F this, you know, I get it. But it's not cute to cuss. And actually, one thing that made me stop swearing is I moved back in after college into my parents' house, and they have a no cussing rule. So I had to learn very quickly how to wash my mouth out. And I think what a blessing. Encourage that boundary. I had parents that I knew would reprimand me, even at 20-something years old, from speaking out of abundance of the world. And if you're currently speaking out of the abundance of the world, I get it. I did too. For many, many years, I didn't see anything wrong with it until I wanted God to use me. And I knew God gave me the ability to speak. And I wanted God to speak through me, but he couldn't because I was filled with TikTok slang, Ariana Grande lyrics, and profanity. He used me daily, sure, but he can't use me to the fullest extent until I denied myself of the things of the world and started filling up my soul with the things of him. And I want to encourage you to do the same. Deny yourself profanity. Deny yourself sad songs. Deny yourself these things. Be set apart. I'm sure you're asking yourself, why? Why does it matter? It just matters because we are called to be set apart. We are called to give life, and the power, the Bible says the power of life and death is on the tongue. You swearing isn't giving anybody life. Be set apart. If you call yourself a Christian, be set apart. So let's get into how should we speak going forward. So we learned that out of the abundance of the heart, your mouth speaks. And we learned how to take inventory of our heart. And we learned that through our eyes and our ears, we fill our heart. But how should we speak? Why is it important to speak life into the world? James chapter 3 is a great chapter if you want to read it on your own. And it talks about the power of speaking, the importance of using your tongue. James 3 specifically teaches us that the tongue, though small, has immense power to shape lives for good or for destruction. It reveals the true condition of our heart, as we've been talking about, and it calls us to steward our words with humility, with wisdom, and with grace. And it encourages us to choose speech that brings life, peace, and righteousness. And if you want God to use you, I have 3 simple steps for you. First, you have to acknowledge that the tongue is powerful. It has the power of both life and death. Think about it. Think about the last time somebody said something negative to you. I bet it stuck with you so much longer than something positive ever did. You can remember back in middle school being bullied, but you forget so quickly the nice thing your friend texted you yesterday. Words are so powerful. Your tongue is so powerful. Use it to give life to others, not tear people down. Next is you have to stop filling your heart with the things of this world and start filling it with the word of the Lord. And what does filling it with the word of the Lord look like? It looks like reading your Bible daily, not just 10 minutes in the morning, but memorizing and meditating on the word of the Lord throughout the day. And deny yourself the comfort of worldly pleasures like explicit music and TikTok slang. I know it's exciting to listen to the new song of your favorite singer that has bad words in it, but we are called to be set apart. So set yourself apart. It's a lot easier than you think. You just got to get over the hump. You have to get over the hump of understanding that denying yourself means freedom in Christ. Lastly, control your tongue. It's literally sitting in your mouth. People can physically push you or get you to stand up or sit down, but your tongue is fully in your control. Fully in your control. So control it. Use it to give life to others.